सेंटेंस कॉलेज वाले कर रहे थे।
ज्वाइन करिए। कर रहे
A very good afternoon to one and all. I, Sarya Freen, a student of MSc Clinical Nutrition and Dietetics second year, welcome you all to the national webinar on Tech Fuel, which is Nourishing the Future, Exploring the Intersection of Technology and Nutrition. A famous quote by Buddha says, health is the greatest gift, contentment the greatest wealth, faithfulness the best relationship. As we gather here, it is essential that we begin with a moment of reflection and inspiration. Let us do that with a prayer. I request everyone to please rise for the same. I'd like to invite Lindsay of MSc Nutrition second year to do the Bible reading.
Today's scripture portion is taken from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plan I have. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Lindsay, you're audible.
Should I continue?
Yes, go ahead.
Today's scripture portion is taken from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
Sarya, you are on mute.
Oh, I'm sorry. As per the tradition of St. Anne's, We would like to welcome the speaker, Ms. Disha Jhaveri, ma'am, with the green greetings. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am. I would now like to invite Ms. Shamela, ma'am, Assistant Professor of Department of Nutrition, to give a brief overview of the Department of Nutrition.
Good afternoon, everyone. The Department of Nutrition was established in the year 1988 and it offers both UG and PG courses. Its strength lies in its highly qualified and experienced faculty, which is headed by Dr. Meena Patange, Dean Edmund, St. Anne's College for Women. She has been a part of the department since its inception, and our vision is to impart application of nutrition science for the promotion and well-being of the community and equipping the students with relevant and substantial knowledge and skills. In the past 34 years, the department has grown with respect to the number of programs offered, which includes BSc Nutrition and Public Health, PG Diploma Nutrition and Dietetics, and MSc Clinical Nutrition and Dietetics, with dedicated 8 faculty members and over 500 students and infrastructure facilities. It is also recognized as IGNOU Learner Study Center and teaches IGNOU certificate programs, which includes diploma and master's program in nutrition. Its alumni is well placed in India and abroad as dietitians and nutritionists in hospitals, specialty clinics, food industries, and research organizations, and as independent consultants and as also the faculty members. The faculty and students of the department are actively involved in research, paper publication, poster presentation, and community outreach activities. So without further delay, I request Saria to go ahead with the proceedings of the session.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to invite Hania of MSc Nutrition second year to introduce our speaker.
നമുക്ക് ഹോസ്റ്റലിൽ പോയാലോ?
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, Hania, you are.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is with great pleasure that I introduce to you a luminary in the field of clinical dietetics, Ms. Disha Jhaveri Shah. With over a decade of experience in diverse hospital settings and private practice, she embodies her excellence in her field. Her dedication to patient care and passion for education make her a standout figure in the profession. She holds a Bachelor of Science in Dietetics from SNDT University, where she laid the foundation for her illustrious career. She further refined her expertise with a postgraduate degree in clinical nutrition with a focus on cancer critical care from the same esteemed institution. Additionally, she pursued her career for holistic health by completing a PG in yoga therapy from Yoga Vidya Niketan. Currently, she is furthering her academic pursuits by pursuing an MBA in Hospital and Healthcare Management from DY Patel, Navi Mumbai. In terms of professional experience, her career trajectory is nothing short of impressive. From a tenure as a dietitian at prestigious institutions such as Global Hospitals Parel and PT Hinduja Hospital Mahim to her role as the founder and owner of Nutrient Insights and e-clinic, she has consistently demonstrated her expertise and dedication to improving patient outcomes. Her areas of expertise encompass a wide range of specialties, including cancer and critical care, renal nutrition, gut health, and diabetes management. Her holistic approach to patient care and her commitment to continuous learning make her a true asset to the healthcare community. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Disha Jhaveri Shah a visionary leader and compassionate caregiver whose contributions to the field of clinical dietetics are truly remarkable.
Without further delay, I would now request our speaker to please continue with the session.
Well, at the offset, I must thank St. Anne's College for this lovely initiative. I am definitely very thankful to Professor Shamla, Sariya, and Hania. Y'all created a great positive vibe at the start itself. And I'm looking forward to add extra layers of anticipation in our today's webinar on Techfuel. So before we begin, a short disclaimer. If you have logged in from your laptops, you may keep your phone handy. If you have logged in from your phone, kindly borrow a phone so that you don't miss out on some activities where we'll be using technology. All right, so just keep that handy, and here we begin. So my intention today is not only to share how technology can be imbibed into nutrition, but I also want you all to get insights and inspiration on how, without any fear, we can embrace technology, just like how uniquely India has also positioned itself. And we know all over, and we can see around that how we are digitally undergoing a revolution, right? And as nutrition faculty and as students of nutrition, we should not miss this chance to embrace technology in our practice. Yes. So it's magical, when you can apply technology, it's indeed magical, especially if you can use it precisely and correctly. I'm sure you can change the whole atmosphere and ambience of the experience that you give to your patients and clients. So, the only, you can say the only disadvantage of doing a webinar is we miss a human touch. So whenever we use technology, we miss human touch. So what I'll do is through the session, we'll be having these kind of tech breaks or tech pause. So normally we take a tech break when we are into a technical glitch. Okay. But here the intention is to also give you an experience of how I'm trying to use different technologies to create a great experience. So with your phones, I would request you all to go to Google Lens, okay, scan this barcode and tell me more about yourself. On the group, we have more than 300 participants. And if I just want to get a basic idea about what our audience is, okay, it's difficult to do it over chat. So this is a simple way of knowing you. And, it sets me right to understand how should I take my session ahead. So as you see, as we have most of the participants sharing about themselves, there are options which you can select to tell me more about yourself. I will get an idea about majorly what our audience is all about. So you can simultaneously see the live poll. Yeah, so this is again a kind of a software which you can use. So I hope all of you are comfortable using it. And I will again share the scanner till you all are polling and telling me more about what exactly should be the, what language should I continue my session with. Yes, Sariya has also shared the link on the chat. So yes, as we understand, majority of you are students, and we have a very dynamic audience. We have postgraduates, graduates, we have working professionals. So that gives me an idea about how exactly should we continue. So today's session is divided into 3 key sections. So we'll try to see how technology can be used in these 3 aspects. Okay, the first is digital presence, second in maintaining patient records, and third in how we can create an eco-friendly consultation experience for our patients. Okay, so are we ready? Yes, show me some energy in the chat. You can share some emojis and tell me how you are feeling and how exactly is this session giving you a vibe of positivity. Yes, you can share emojis in the chat box and make me feel your presence. Thank you, everyone. So let's begin with the digital presence as our first topic. Now, first of all, why do you think is digital presence so important? Whether you are practicing or doing a job, or you are practicing on your own, you are working in a hospital setup, working in any food companies, digital presence is still important. In the era that we are, all of us, even before we go to a restaurant, we Google search about the restaurant, we check the menu, we try to know the Google reviews, the favorite dishes that people have told about. So visibility is something which is very essential in today's era. Now, I have personally observed certain digital presence, okay, certain places where you should be present. And I'm going to share that as checklist. So if you are already on those apps and those platforms, and great. If not, make a note of it so that you can do it after the session. So the first is LinkedIn. And it's not just LinkedIn, it's an update that you must always be sharing on LinkedIn. It should not be a profile that you have not updated, or you have just made it and left it there. It should always be updated. Next is very important to have a separate business page on Instagram and Facebook, which doesn't combine with your personal account. Okay, so you could share your personal things on your personal account and your professional things on the business page. The next is having a Google business account. This is very simple to make. Okay, with your Gmail account, you can easily log in and share your details about your availability, what kind of services you offer. Okay. Yes, branding and logo. Most of us think that branding is something which we must do when we have established ourselves. Yes. But in fact, I would say that branding is something that you must do at the start itself. Okay, you must create your own logo. Logo creation is also an art. It's a kind of a science where you pick the right colors, you pick the right vibe, because that's the first thing your client or patient will see even before they meet you. Also, logo is something that once you create, you may not want to change it again and again, right? So invest enough time and make a good logo which you can vibrate with. And once you've done that, you can also consider to make your own website. Okay, there are many free platforms which allow you to choose from ready templates. You can put in the details about yourself. You can even start blogging on your own website. Okay, so this ensures that you have a great digital presence. Now, just let me give you a short demo on how you can create your own digital presence and visibility. So I would request you all to go on to your Google Chrome and type in your own name. Okay, yeah, type in your own name and try to see what exactly the search engine has to offer. Have you all done that before? Then you probably know what happens when you do that. Yes, so till you all are doing it and observing. So when I share my name, thanks to all these checklists that I shared with you, you can see that my website pops up, my LinkedIn profile pops up, the Google business account pops up, Instagram, or any media appearances, all of that pops up. So before a client or patient considers to visit, they have a good idea about where exactly they are going. All right. So try to ensure that you get all your checklists in place. Now with this, we move on to the second section of patient records. Let me tell you my own experience. I remember working as, doing my internship or even working in hospital setups. Initially, we all used to handwrite, our prescriptions or even our history. And it's difficult to sometimes fetch those documents if the patient comes on follow-up after a long time. right? Even in my personal practice, initially I had a habit of handwriting, the history. And then later on, whenever I would get time, I would populate all of that data into an Excel sheet. So it is tedious. And what if I tell you that all of this you can now manage with just one click, which is with the help of Google Forms. Let me give you a quick overview of how. So I'll share my own Google form, which I use for my patients when they, after the discovery call. This is what we generally share. So once you log in into Google Forms, okay, you will be able to create your own Google form. So as you can see here, we have a huge era of questions which we are asking our patients, ranging from, their height, weight, their habits, overall, what do they feel about themselves, complaints that they have through the day, bowel movement, water intake, and a lot of it. Okay. So the advantage is that all the data is in one place. Yes. Plus, you can create a personalized experience by adding your own logo. Okay, you can choose the colors. In fact, if you observe, there are different formats in which you can create the questions. There could be multiple choice. There could be option to write a short answer, a long answer, check marks. You can even do grading. You can even have like a score. So the benefit of doing this is that you will always have a standard structure. So whenever a patient approaches you, okay, all of them will undergo a standard structure of questions. We may not miss on any question, yes. And all of this data is portable. So wherever you are, you can have an access to your data. Later on, if you have a team, okay, you grow, you have a team, then even the team has access to that data. So the same data can be used by multiple users. The advantage also is that you can populate this into an Excel sheet. Okay, so all your data can now also be on an Excel sheet automatically from what data entry your patients have probably already done. And without saying, you don't use much paper, so you're saving trees, it's eco-friendly. And yes, the last section of personal insights is something which I personally feel has added a new horizon to my practice. Let me show you how. So I'm just trying to tell you how Google Form data, okay, so we have a lot of data, right? Generally in our nutrition practice, we have a lot of data. But the problem is we don't have insights on our data. And this is a short demo to tell you on how we can draw insights from our own data and, not just have research-based information. So this is like your own research. So I observed that in my renal cases, that is CKD on conservative management, which means chronic kidney disease patients who are not on dialysis. Okay. So we observed the data of these patients specifically. And when the patients have mentioned about the complaints that they have, okay, we have seen that the major complaint that they were complaining about was low energy levels or lack of stamina through the day. Then simultaneously, we try to draw some insights on their protein intake. So at baseline, when the patient came to us, okay, when we take the recall of the patient and we calculate how much macronutrients they are consuming, the protein intake on an average for all renal cases, okay, who were CKD on conservative management, it was 0.32 grams per kg body weight. Okay, so we know that the standard prescription as per guidelines is 0.8 grams per kg dry weight. And it was almost half. Right? So when we prescribed and then when we follow up with the patients, we observed that the protein intake improved and it was very closer to the standard prescription, that is 0.78 grams per kg body weight. So this is all from the data that the patients had submitted and what we had updated when we prescribed. Okay. So we could also draw some connection that, so, in our Google form, you observe that we take scoring. So if I say my energy level is low, I ask them to score. Okay, is it low as 1 or is it as good as 5? All right. So when the patient came at baseline, their baseline score was 1.5. And as they follow up through the months, the score is improving. Yeah. In the second month, it is 2.67. In the third month, it was 3.69 and further. So right now, I have pulled up a small portion of the data to show you that how we can use our own patient data and drive constructive solutions instead of just talking abstract. So now when my patient next comes to me, like a new renal case comes to me, I am sure that if the patient is complaining of low energy levels, that means that possibly the protein intake is low, okay? And possibly over 3 months, when the patient starts keeping up the protein intake to what is recommended, he may see improvement in his energy levels. So the confidence with which I prescribe, okay, that improves because I have my own analysis with the help of the data that I collected through Google Forms. Yes, interesting. Let's again take a short tech break. Yeah, you can again scan and tell me, how are you feeling? How is it going? I hope I'm making sense and reaching you out and, adding more value to what you are here for. Yes, so while you are scanning, okay, I will be receiving your inputs on my email. All right. And I have kept the setting such that your identity won't be revealed. Okay. So this was just an idea to tell you that you can use technology and have data. Okay. Thank you, Saria, for sharing the link on the group. All right. So you all can use the link too. Until then, I move ahead. Now we come to the last section, that is creating an eco-friendly experience of consultation for your patients. So before we go ahead on what all apps we can use to create this experience, let me give you an overview of how a patient journey is when they approach Nutrient Insights. Okay. So when I receive an inquiry message from my patient, okay, from my business WhatsApp, an auto reply is sent to the patient. That auto reply will have the link to the Google form that I just showed you, and it will also have a link to appointment. All right. The appointment link I'll be showing you shortly. So once the appointment link is opened by the patient, even the payment details are synced with it. The reminder, okay, for suppose if you are booking an appointment today, but it is booked for next week, then you get a reminder automatically because you have booked it through the app. Interesting, right? Yes. So let me show you. Let me give you an experience of how it will feel when the link is opened. Okay. So when the patient opens the link, this is how it will appear. He can see slots for, say, tomorrow. Okay. So he can see the timing option. So for example, I book it for 3 o'clock. Then you go ahead, you put in your details. Patient can also share details about what exactly are they looking for. Okay, looking for tube feed consult. Yes, they can share their contact number and they can schedule the event. So automatically, I receive an email about the appointment being scheduled. Yeah, the patient also receives an email about the confirmation of appointment. So this is the experience that you can create with technology. Yes. So moving back to the next step that the patient will now experience. So on the day of appointment, okay, again in business WhatsApp, you have an option to create quick replies. Now, what are these quick replies? Whatever are generally the common questions that patient asks us, like, for example, what should I do? I am having loose motions today, or I'm constipated today, or, I want options of more lactose-free recipes, or I want recipes for soups. Okay. So we have over time made a lot of these quick replies, which are ready. Okay. I just have to put a slash and the reply is automatically sent. So we have a welcome message which is being designed. Okay, we just add the name of the patient to that and send it to the patient. And by that time, at the back end, on the day of the appointment, the Google form which was submitted is populated into an Excel sheet so that all the details are there. And also when I'm taking the history, I can simultaneously put and update the details that I am taking in terms of the recall, whatever was not there on the Google form basically. So thus my patient record is now handy. My team can also access it, and I can also access it wherever I am. Okay. And even on follow-ups, it becomes easy. Now, once the plan is made, the schedule that the patient has to now follow, okay, the nutrition plan that is shared as a PDF. Okay. We also do our follow-up on business WhatsApp. We make groups and we do follow-up there. So when you have multiple groups, okay, there is also an option in business WhatsApp where you can label the chats. So that's how with technology you can organize your work. For example, I have to follow up with 10 patients in the month of January. I can label them into a color, okay, and all of those will appear together to me so that I don't miss out on anyone. Okay, so after having this kind of an experience, in the end, you can also take a Google review. Okay, just having a review on the chat may not be that authentic, but if it's a Google review, automatically it refers to the patient. Okay, the details of the patients are also there. So it looks like a more authentic review. All right, and automatically when your Google reviews are better, you have a better reach on search engines. So if somebody searches for, say, a clinical dietitian in Mumbai, okay, then the chances are that with good Google reviews, your name will come ahead. Okay. Great. So with this, we understand that if we want to establish an eco-friendly consultation checklist, okay, this is what all we need to do. First, we need to have a separate number, okay, and we need to download a business WhatsApp app on that number. You can generate your own appointment links. Okay, so there are different apps. There are many apps, in fact, which can allow you to generate appointment links. So you can explore a few of them, and whichever you are comfortable with, you can choose that interface. You can link your payment methods to it. Okay, so you can even, so later on as your practice grows, all your details, your GST number, etc., can also be a part of this. So you don't have to invest separate time to manage that. Yeah, and also you can create a Google link, or how I have also showed you how to create a QR code scanner. So you can even create a QR code scanner and share that whenever you want to take a review from your patient. Great. Yes, so how are you all doing? Overwhelmed? Is it too much information, or is it good enough? I must say that you all have been a great audience, and I want to give some bonus. Yes. So this is an excellent software called iNutrimon. Okay, it has been endorsed by the Indian Society of Parenteral and Enteral Nutrition. Many hospitals are also using this. So just like how I mentioned about Google Form, okay, this is a software which has a dashboard of details ranging from the patient details, anthropometry, the clinical details, whatever screening you do, the biochemical parameters. So the reports can immediately be synced, okay, in the patient's profile. Even plans, okay, because it's endorsed by SPEN, so the SPEN guidelines are updated. So you can automatically do the calculations also. You can create a nutrition planner there. So all your record on baseline, on follow-ups is all maintained there. Okay, so this is also something which we can explore, and many hospitals are now using this. Yes, when we spoke about Google review, there is also an option in Facebook. Okay, but on your page, your business page, you will have to go to your privacy settings and change or allow others to leave reviews. Okay, so you could do that. You can activate it so that even on Facebook, patients can leave a review. Yes, even our phone apps have to be upgraded and we have to update them. The same way we should upgrade ourselves also. So when we look at technology in terms of patient consultation, okay, we should be updated on what are the different kitchen technologies. For example, if a cancer patient comes and asks me that is air fryer a good option for me, or should I use microwave? So before I answer, okay, I should have a fair idea on how the technology of air fryer works. Okay, how does microwave work? I could go back and read upon why is it said that probably the rays that are used in microwave could be carcinogenic. Okay, so that I can give a substantial reply to this type of technologies also. It's not wrong if you have to use food tracking and fitness apps. Okay, they are really handy. So if your patient chooses to use any one of those, it will be a great data for you too. Okay, so we must explore what all type of even free apps for maintaining and tracking your food and fitness are available. We all by now have realized that yourself is not a good parameter. Okay, just checking your own weight is not a good parameter because weight is a factor of many things. It is always good to know your body composition in terms of your fat percentage, your lean body mass, your bone strength, etc. And these reports are now available. Okay, so patients are also aware and they do these reports, but we should know how to read the report, okay, or how to gauge progress on that report. All right. So it is essential for us to learn that. Many a times, nowadays patients, because they sit in an air-conditioned environment, they complain that, they are not thirsty or they don't want to drink water or their fluid intake is very low, then they feel dizzy. So you should know that there are even hydration reminder apps which the patient can download and set an alarm probably that every hour the reminders will come. Okay, so these are some tidbits that I wanted to tell you all about, that technology can be used, and the more precisely you use, okay, the more better you can work because you will save time on the amount of time you are spending on certain processes. Okay, and you can invest that time into doing something more productive. Yes. So how did I learn all of this? It was not something which I was good at probably even 6-7 years back. But yes, I invested some time in COVID and did the Lit 30 program by Dr. Vishal Marwa. And I must offer my gratitude to him that because of him, I could take this session today so seamlessly for you all and even update you on what all can be done. All right, so we come to the end of our session. And I'm going to invest a lot of time answering your questions. So I want to give you a special experience, okay, while I do the recap. Now, for that, I will have to take a 1 minute break or maybe 2 minutes. So what you could do is by that time, you can just jot down some questions or any queries that you have, and I will do the setup till then. Okay, so let's take a 2 minute break and I'll be back. Yes, so I am ready and I'm going to give you a very special experience. So let's do a quick recap on what all we covered today and where all can we use technology. So the first was digital presence, where we spoke about how we can have an updated profile on LinkedIn. We can have a separate business app on a business page on Instagram and Facebook. We must have a Google business page separately. We must create our own logo and website. Then we spoke about how we can use technology with the help of Google Forms and create beautiful insights and manage our data very well. Lastly, we spoke about how we can have a paper-free experience for our consultation by using business WhatsApp app, using appointment apps, payment links, and taking Google reviews. How was it? Yes, so again, you can see how technology can alter the environment and create a beautiful experience, even for giving presentations. Yes? All right. So I will go back to the last bits that are left. I'll share my screen. This is my daughter's favorite story, The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle. Now, you sure will understand why I am referring to this right now. So, in the story, the caterpillar is very hungry. Okay, so when the caterpillar is young, it is very hungry and it keeps on eating and eating and eating throughout the day. Okay, and there comes a point where it has eaten enough that it will form a cocoon, a shelf around itself, and it will stay there, okay, for a while, where it will not move at all, not eat at all, okay, and be there, and then finally it will be ready as a beautiful butterfly. So, this is the message that all of us should take, that you should always keep learning. Okay. Try to eat around whatever you can. Try to gather knowledge because these are all skills. Okay. And we never know that when all these skills will help us, to become a beautiful butterfly and come out with flying colors. So try to upgrade yourself and have these skills, not only for your profession, but even maybe to help others or to create a better experience. Yes. Before we go, I have a short surprise. So as a part of Nutrient Insights, we have an initiative called Detox, okay, where we are it's in pipeline, where we are trying to create such sessions where we can help students and even professionals to upgrade themselves to learn more. Okay, like our first session was on sweet cravings. Okay, so I have shared a link where you can probably share in your contact details and further information. That is only optional. The link is also shared in the chat box. Only if you want us to update you, okay, whenever we have our next session. And keep in touch. You can follow us on Instagram so that whatever are our updates, you will be receiving them. And feel free to ask me any questions even there later on, okay, so that I am there to help you. All right. So with this, I thank you, all of you, for sparing your 60 minutes here. And I thank St. Anne's College for organizing this and for being seamless in all the conversations and being very prompt in whatever we had to, do as a part of the backend. And you can even scan this code and leave me a Google review on how it was today for you. And now the platform is open for more questions. Feel free if you have any doubts where I can have some inputs. Thank you, Jasmine, for sharing the link of Google review in the chat box. Thank you, Shantala. Thank you, Afshin. I'm glad. Okay, if you have any questions, you can type in the chat box, or later on also you can approach us and we will share the solutions and experiences that we get. Also, you will be having an access to the session on YouTube. Yes, Professor. Good to know you. If there are any questions, we have time to take them up, or else we can end the session for today.
The participants can type the questions either in the WhatsApp group or in the chat box.
Yeah, I have. Yes, Hafsa, that's a very good question. That the challenge is there are a lot of content creators on various platforms, and that is a challenge where it's difficult even for the audience to choose that what is a fad and what is a reality, or probably what is authentic and what is not. So it's difficult because we are not that much aware as an audience. Also, we are not aware as to we should look up into the qualifications of a person before we start following them or taking their advice. So only thing from our end we can do is wherever possible we can project the background that we have, okay, so that the audience is aware about who exactly is talking. But otherwise, it's very difficult to break that bridge. Yes.
Ma'am, it's a wonderful opportunity. We got a lot of knowledge regarding this techniques. And I wanted your mail ID. Can you please share me your mail ID, ma'am?
Yes, I have typed it on the chat.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Hafsa, your question is how did Nutrient Insights happen? Well, it's a very good question, and I'm sure from what I share, if it can be a good inspiration, I think this is going to really help. So, if we look at how it started, initially I was very inclined to patient practice, where clinical nutrition comes more into play, and that's how I was more inclined towards hospital setups. But obviously, as life progresses in different phases of life for a woman, it's especially difficult to manage the work and personal life balance. And that's when, during my pregnancy, okay, I was unknowingly aware that, or I was probably, I had that intention that I want to spend enough time with my child too. And if simultaneously I have to manage professional life, I will have to start something on my own, which is more flexible. So with that came in the opportunity to consider to start personal practice. Initially, my practice was online, where I would have collaborations with doctors, and that's how I would get referrals. Then at the right time, NEP and Lit 30 even happened to me, and that's how I gained more skills onto how I must develop my own website or have a digital presence. And that's how, gradually it built up. So I was very sure that I'm not trying to run behind just financial stability, but also get work satisfaction. And that's how it kept me going. Okay, so you have to be consistent and patient in your practice. And that's how gradually then, initially it was completely online. And now we have both online and offline setup. So luckily in our practice, it's more through word of mouth that you tend to get more referrals. And the patient experience was something that we always focused on. We always tried to be result oriented. And simultaneously, I also had in mind that I should have help, okay, or I should have team members who can help me into certain aspects of, say, follow up or, calling the patients. So I think that's how it gradually grew. Yeah, pleasure, Afsa. Yeah, do we have any more questions or we can wrap up the day? Yeah. Yes, Ravi. So, as far as I know, since most of the colleges offering nutrition are the convent colleges or the colleges that only take females, so I'm not sure about what exactly is the qualification. And if you have done it from a qualified institute, okay, there is no problem in seeking the same opportunities as how a female dietitian would be. So yes, if you look at a hospital setup or even setups wherever clinical practice is active, that's where you will need the right qualification. So if you match the job prescription, then there is no problem. And yes, if you want to start your own practice, also it remains the same, just like females. There is no difference. But as I said, the only challenge is that most of the colleges that offer nutrition are the ones which take females, and the admission is for females. I hope that answers your question, Ravi.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. I'm sure your inputs your inputs are highly acknowledged, and I'm sure like it will be put into practice by everybody. Now I request Jasmine of MSc Clinical Nutrition to present the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Sarya. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
The essence of all beautiful and a great art is gratitude. I feel honored and privileged to get the opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on this insightful lecture. I express my gratitude to our principal, Dr. Sister A. Vijayarani, for giving us the opportunity to conduct such a great event. I, on behalf of the management, staff, and students of St. Anne's College for Women, extend a sincere thanks to our esteemed speaker, Ms. Disha Jhaveri, ma'am. whose insightful presentation has provided us with valuable insights and inspiration to embark our journey on exploration where technology meets nutrition. Your expertise and passion for the subject have truly enlightened and empowered us, ma'am. I would also like to extend my gratitude to Dr. Meena Patange, ma'am, Head Department of Nutrition, Dean Administration, for the encouragement and guidance extended by her. I would like to thank the Department of Nutrition faculty for their unwavering dedication and constant support. I also thank the technical support team. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the participants for their active participation, enthusiasm, and eagerness to learn. Your presence has enriched the discussion and made this workshop a truly enriching and a memorable experience. Thank you all for joining the session.
I request everyone to please stand up for the national anthem.
Sorry, it's not audible.
I'm sorry, ma'am, I'm checking. 1 second.
जनगण जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here today. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here today.
Jasmine, please share the feedback form to the participants in the chat
Yes,
box.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'd like to request all the participants to please fill in the feedback form that has been shared in the chat box.
I hope everyone here got the access to the feedback form. Certificates will be shared to your Gmail ID that you have shared in your registration form. Thank you, Disha ma'am, once again for joining us for today's session. Do we conclude the meet?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, ma'am.